So let's talk about this All Star game. It was trash. First, I'm getting right into it. I don't care. This All Star game is bad. The NBA has lost it, and their product is dying. And let's be very honest. Look, I am an NBA fan. I love the game of basketball. And I think, in terms of how basketball is played, right now, the NBA is at its most developed state by far. All NBA offenses have gotten so good that it's so hard to guard them that it looks like they're not even playing defense out there in regular NBA games. But this is not the case. The fact is that NBA offenses have completely transformed themselves into be the most effective, and basically statistics have won in terms of what NBA offenses do and how they play. We could see this because the way to get the easiest points in an NBA in any basketball game is through layups, threes, and fast breaks. Catch the defense while they're slipping, get an easy layup, get a wide open three, and you're gonna get a bunch of easy points, which you could get 20 to 30 points in one game that were not even like thought of to be had just because you did those things. The reason why I say this is because in an NBA game, right before there used to be patience. It used to be encouraged for the ball handler to take the ball off the floor, wait for the defense to set itself up, then make sure to scout whatever opportunities you have. And the reason why is because before, real basketball was something that the NBA encouraged. People encourage, play with fundamentals, play defense, go. And that was a real thing. All the best players played like that. And even the guys, like a person like Steph, right? And like these things saw themselves permeated through the league because like Steph and KD, which were looked at as the best offensive stars in the NBA, right? Still played defense. Like KD was a great defensive player. Kyrie was another player which was a pest on defense, but is looked at as an offensive player. We saw a guy like Steph have a lot of deflections. We saw a guy like LeBron have his chase down blocks. So all stars, even if they were not doing the best, right? They were still at least trying on defense. And that caused them to have a lot of, great moments. We were able to see a bunch of great players. We were able to see a bunch of great all star games from those early 2010s and mid 2010s where we saw the change in the league. And originally, we saw it as a good thing. We thought that it would stop at 2017. In 2017, the threes had been completely integrated into the game. They had now become commonplace. But now it's become a thing where the defense is just not enough for the offense in the NBA. The reason why this happened was more because of a fact, right? That a person, right, and especially teams realized that if they just played certain ways and people realize like, oh hey, we don't have to do all of that. And this has caused the NBA to crack. I think that now it is more about, fixing the NBA's defense problem. But in the league, I don't feel like it's a defense problem. I feel like it's a attitude problem. Stars in these days don't want to be stars anymore. They used to want to have these great moments, be the superstar, play offense and defense because the stars of the league, that's what they were promoting. But in my opinion, and I'm a LeBron guy, I love LeBron. I think he's one of the best players. But I think that as a superstar, he's really permeated a bunch of these bad habits, which in the league we now see as common. We see that guys like LeBron, after every play, complain. They go and they give everything on offense, and on defense, LeBron in recent times has not been the best because the thing is that people, and especially other NBA players, will always do what the top dog is doing. And that's like that for anywhere in life. Like if you go and you see a leader in a group, as much as you don't like to admit it, that people who are down the laundry list, if they respect somebody and they have that genuine appreciation for that person, and they have no bad blood with them, they will try to be like that person subconsciously because they know that they're a leader. And I think that LeBron, is the leader of the league, with his attitude, with this way of playing, has really done bad for the league. And I don't think it's his fault because he's old and his body can't keep up. But what I'm saying is, like, if you're gonna be the face of the league, right? At least permeate some of the good behavior in things that are not on the court. We understand that LeBron, the most successful player in the modern NBA, not named Steph Curry, right, is definitely going to have some lapses in his play style. He's played for 20 years, and we can't blame him for everything. But what I will say is that young stars that are coming out are not being taught fundamentals. Like, the most stars who play defense are Victor Wembanyama, Anthony Edwards, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, who actually go and take pride in the defensive side of the ball and really do all of that stuff. So, in my opinion, when we look at these types of things, these things are now going into the All-Star break. And the reason why I say this is because the All-Star game, break, and everything has become a laughing joke. I'm sorry, but it is true. Like, we have to speak on the fact that, look, the All-Star game is now what it used to be. Before, it was a showdown, the best players versus the best players. Everyone plays well. And I understand talking about injury, but why can't star players just forget that? Apart from that, every NBA contract is guaranteed, apart from maybe two-way contracts. So that means that all of you guys are getting your money. No, normally players don't get injured from the All-Star game. I think that notion of injury from the All-Star has become this new way of thinking to just be able to put forth as the least amount of effort possible on offense and defense. Kevin Durant was the only player that looked like he actually cared about the All-Star game. And even then, the guy wasn't being followed by anybody. It's obvious that there's certain names in the league of people who actually care, who actually put forth the effort, and who want to, change the way that the league is played. But in my opinion, guys who are on their way out need to point at younger guys as the new generation. I like what Giannis is doing, but defensively, I like what a guy like SGA is doing defensively because they're trying. We can't have stars win championships that don't play defense. And the people are going to talk about, what do you mean? And I'm saying, look, Jokic is actually a pretty good defender. No one gets through him. And when he's at the rim, it's very hard. Jokic actually has a lot of defensive stops. And he's a player which actually disrupts offensive plays. But the problem is that he doesn't look like he defends. There's a certain feel to the game that he has where he can position himself in great spots. It's the same thing for Luka Doncic because they waste so much energy on the offensive end that when they go back on defense, they need these very specific plays. But people don't understand that. So when you see that the best players in the world look like they're not playing defense, then that's where you get these guys in the All-Star game not trying. They don't want to get injured, and they create a terrible product. In my opinion, if the league continues like this uncompetitive nature, this buddy-buddy, we're all friends, and they don't switch to a more traditionalistic style where, it's like we don't like each other, or at least where they look more captivating on the court, right? I do not feel like the NBA is going to be very successful with the newer generations. Personally, I think that the NBA is always going to be around. I feel like they're going to have enough casual fans because basketball is a great sport and it's very entertaining to watch. But the All Star game has proven to me that if the stars can't give us a show, when you put them all together on a court and give them a ball and tell them go against each other based on conference, then who is going to be able to put that apart from the NBA Finals? So for real sports fans, for the people who go to the NFL, to European soccer, no European football. I'm sorry, and to these other sports. The NBA is seriously lacking in passionate fans because even the passionate fans like myself who watch basketball and are staying tuned, it's hard with the level of product that they're putting out in the biggest stages.